So I got to meet some great people at Presta Coffee Roasters, and I really learned a lot on how they honor the system of how coffee is made. And so that really inspired me to make something great with that. So today I'm going to candy and roast some almonds. Well, let's get started. Now it's really important to have a good sized pot for this. You have a big pot, then the nuts can move around really well and you get that beautiful caramelized look. Now don't worry, there's only 4 ingredients to this recipe, so you can absolutely do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sugar, which is about 1/4 cup, and then I have about 2 tablespoons of water. We're going to put this on the stove and we're going to let it melt down. If you want to make a big batch of this recipe for any holiday party or a big gathering, you can always double up what I'm doing. Today I'm just going to use 1/2 cup of almonds. We put it on the stove and cooked it for just about a minute, and now we're at the second stage of making dragée nuts. The sugar has actually crystallized, and you really need to make sure that you mix the nuts really well at this final stage. You can really see how the nuts are starting to caramelize. You can see there's a little smoke coming off of it. Don't panic, it's just the sugar caramelizing. And now we're going to add a touch of butter, just about a teaspoon. This is going to give it a little bit of shine. So after I add the butter, I'm going to add a sprinkle of salt. This will bring everything together, just like that. So the nuts are totally done, and now I need to let them just cool off and dry. I like to put them on a piece of parchment paper or wax paper, whichever one that you might have. This kind of saves on the mess. So after you actually candy and roast these nuts, you could coat them in dark chocolate and then toss them in cocoa powder. And they're going to pair amazing with an ice brewed coffee with some Presta coffee beans. So I'm going to use a French press today, and I'm going to use some cold water and some ground coffee. So I have about 1 cup of coffee right in here, and I'm going to make about 2 cups of coffee. But if you want to make more than that, all you need to know is that you need 2 parts water to 1 part coffee. So I have my 2 cups of cold water I'm going to pour right on top of my ground coffee. So remember, your water needs to be cold. You don't need to boil this. So now I'm going to put the lid onto the French press. Here's the lid. You want to just place it right on top, but you don't want to press it down, just like this. You're going to press this down after you let it steep. And a good time for letting this steep would be probably 12 to 24 hours. So now we've pressed the coffee beans into the liquid that sat for about 12 hours. So now I can pour it right out. I have some ice here, so I'm going to fill it up with some ice. And then here's our ice brewed coffee. I'm going to fill it probably about halfway. And then I have a little half and half here. So I added about 1/4 cup of half and half. And it's ready to drink. Now, if you want to just enjoy the roasty, beautiful flavor of the coffee beans, this is perfect. But if you would like to add a little bit of a sweetener, you could add maybe a stevia or something like that. Or I could show you how to make a chocolate syrup or a vanilla simple syrup. Delicious. I bet it'll taste great with the nuts.